Hi, and welcome to Georgina Blooms. Today we're going to do ugly stuff. What's bugging your plants? And why are they looking ratty? I got a garbage can, I got my gloves. I've also got Shannon Lindensmith from Georgina Garden Center. She's going to tell me what I didn't do right. Please stay tuned, it should be fun. Welcome back. And joining me is Shannon Lindensmith from Georgina Garden Center. And she's going to be mean to me.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just don't want
You're going to be all judgy.
You just don't want to hear what I'm going to say.
No.
Maybe.
And I know I have fallen off the wagon for paying attention to some of my plants.
It happens.
Well, summer is busy.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I look at are, kind of, if companies coming that are plant people, I'll race through the garden and do stuff. If we have a big event, I do pay attention. Apparently we didn't have a big event this year.
You also have a lot of garden to look after, so
I do.
It makes sense.
Yes, thank you. She's being kind.
We're easing into it.
So let's get right into it and look at my nasty boxwood.
Yes.
This is this is a new thing, because typically my boxwood gets the odd busted branch, and yes,
From snow piling, which we've talked about on previous shows.
Yes, which I toss the snow off the deck and it lands on here, and it doesn't do them any good. But do I care? Apparently not. But I do. They do bounce back, and this is the nasty one. We'll show you an even nastier one, but I thought I'd give myself a break and show you some as green. But this is something new.
So it's new to our area. It's not new to the world in general.
Okay.
It's from a box tree moth, which affects boxwoods.
Yes.
And what it happens is the moth lays its eggs on the other side. They hatch the larva, the caterpillar. It feeds on the leaves and skeletizes it, turns them brown, and goes through its life cycle, comes a moth again. So we usually get 2 cycles. We've had 2 cycles this summer. And so, but it is controllable and they are savable.
Oh, even this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, my hydrangea vine is touching that.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
They
so
only like the boxwood. Well, and one other plant, but it's not around here, so you're okay. But it's just the boxwoods.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't do what. So do I cut back the stuff that's awful?
I say no, only because what it does, what the caterpillar did was it hatched, and you can see this is just the rib of the main part of the leaf that's left. It's eaten off all other sides of the leaf, right?
Yeah.
That's all that's left. You had one I just saw back here. Let me find, if I can find it again quickly. I'll look as we're talking. They just make holes in it, they bite through it.
Is that this one? What's that?
What's that? No, it's just dead. Oh, there's one there. Okay, so see how, I'll pick the leaf off to see it easier. See how, oh, there's poop there too. That's good. So that's the eaten leaf. See, it just has a chunk out of it, but they keep going all the way if you don't spray. So your signs are, can you hang on to that?
Yeah.
Your signs are that you have holes. Then it goes more brown because they're eating it up, right? So it goes like that. Your other signs are the poop. That's
Great.
like that.
Ew.
Now, when it's all really fresh, though, this is all a little bit older, it's green. So it's very hard to find because they're green little caterpillars with stripes, black stripes, almost not quite tent caterpillar-esque, but along the lines like stripy.
Are they furry?
No, that is to say they're kind of, but not quite, right?
Okay.
They're the same size as the stem of the boxwood, which makes them hard to find. And because they're green, they look like the stem, so they're hard to see. And the poop will be green because they're eating green leaves. So it very much blends. So if you don't know what you're looking for at first, especially if you want to prevent, it's hard to see at first. But once you've seen it a few times, you know what to look for. The other thing you can, one of the first signs as well, is there'll be a lot of webbing. Now, I think I've broken some of the webbing apart because I was looking for actual caterpillars. But see how these branches are all kind of stuck together with some webbing?
Okay.
I don't know if you can get in here. See, these ones are all kind of stuck together. It's all been webbed. That's where, like, they'd be inside eating. So you can open that up. I know it's so gross, but you can open it up, and there's no caterpillar in here right now.
It's moved on.
It's so gross. But, okay, so that's where it was, like, in there. It's doing its thing. You can see all what it's done to it, right?
Yeah.
So eating the leaves in general will not kill the plant. Yes, it's not good for the plant. It stunts the plant. It doesn't look good. How they actually kill the plant is when they start feeding on the stems. Because as they're taking the bark off, it's drying it out and dying, right? So that's what kills the plant eventually if you're not spraying for
Right
it.
on it.
So, yep.
So boxwoods are an evergreen. Will this ever be green?
Yes. Yeah. So what I've done, I've been spraying at a bunch of customers' houses all summer long because we knew this was coming in from last year. There were some signs of it. This year it got some. Now it's nothing to be concerned about. I would never tell someone still don't buy boxwoods, don't plant boxwoods, don't pull your boxwoods out, don't be afraid. Remember a few years ago we had gypsy moth?
Yeah.
Do you hear about it anymore?
No.
Because everyone did what they were supposed to do and it eradicated them. So, and you can control these naturally as well.
Okay.
So you can spray your BTK. BTK is completely natural. It's a natural bacteria found in the soil.
Okay.
It only affects caterpillars
Oh.
and certain stages of the caterpillars.
Okay.
So completely natural. Your other way of catching them too or stopping the cycle is a trap with a pheromone in it, which tracks the male caterpillar. So it's it's easy. It's all natural, and I've had very good success with it.
Okay, that's the good part. And that's what it kind of looks like.
Similar, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we come back, Shannon, you're going to do a demo?
Yes. Yes.
Yay! Anyway, do come back. Welcome back, and as promised, Shannon's going to do a little demo on my boxwood.
So I've mixed some, and I only put a little bit in here because when you mix this, you have to use it within about 18 hours. Because it's natural, you can't store it
pre-mixed.
mixed.
Okay.
Exactly. So only mix what you're going to use.
Okay, and it's this with water?
And it's BTK with water, and I think it's like I have to read the instructions, but I think it's about a teaspoon per liter, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Thereabouts. But also I was going to say there's lots of different BTs. K is for the caterpillars. There's BT, I think there's S, there's A, but each one only targets a certain thing.
Okay.
And this, even if like say a bird ate the caterpillar later or whatever, it doesn't hurt anything. It only hurts the caterpillar and it affects their stomach.
And
So-
it only hurts the caterpillar that starts with a K.
It's a Latin. The K's for Latin. I don't know which
Something.
one, but
Okay.
BTK is for caterpillars.
Okay.
You can also use if you have like caterpillars in your tomatoes and things like that, cabbage worms. You can use it on that too.
Okay.
And all natural.
Okay.
So when you spray for the caterpillars on these, when you spray for any bug, you want to do an up and down motion because when you go up, it's getting the bottom side of the leaves. When you're coming down, it's getting the top side. And like I
Okay.
said, they lay their eggs on the underside.
Underside.
Okay, so you're always going to do an up and down motion. And this you're going to spray to just a drip, which means you can kind of just see it dripping off now, see?
Yeah.
That's just to a drip. So you're not just doing that like, there, I'm done.
Right.
It's not enough. So you have to go up and down. And also because this moth will also lay in there where it's not disturbed,
Right.
I just put my sprayer in and kind of shake it
shake it
around,
up.
just so I'm making sure I'm coating the whole thing. And again, the caterpillars could feed on the stems, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you get in there.
Okay.
Okay. Don't spray in the heat of the day, and that goes for any spray.
Right.
Don't
Super windy day.
Yep. Don't spray if it's going to rain. And
Okay.
so if you spray early morning or late day, that's usually best.
We're in the
okay.
morning.
Yep. And it's overcast today, so we're good. But that's how, like, it's honestly, that's how easy it is. So if your shrubs or if your boxwoods are really infested, like you see a lot of caterpillars, I don't see any caterpillars, which
They've
is
moved
kind of a
on.
good thing. They've hatched their moths. They're somewhere. Depending on how our season is, they could come back and do another cycle. Otherwise, they just will come back probably next year still.
Okay. Do they
So-
bury in the ground at all, or does anything bury in the ground?
They're
No?
moths. They're harbor moths over winter.
Okay.
Yeah. So you spray. I've been spraying my customers that I do this for. I sprayed earlier in the summer. Usually, I think it was around the end of May I started, and I did it once a week for 4 weeks.
Wow.
And then I stopped because this also is not a preventative. This is a contact spray. The caterpillars have to be present because they have to, this coats the leaf, and as they eat the leaf, they then ingest this.
So the eggs are not affected.
No, it's only the caterpillar at a certain stage of the caterpillar as it's eating. So if you were infested and you could see the caterpillars, you could spray every 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
But if you're doing it and you just see some here and there, there's signs of it, that's when you do every 7 days.
Okay.
We just finished another 3-4 week stint of spraying as well. I think we finished maybe a week or two ago.
Okay.
Now my other tip with these are, and you're going to do this, and you're going to report back to me that you've done it, is you're going to fertilize them.
Homework.
So, but you don't want to
Oh.
fertilize with the 20-20-20, nothing with big numbers. Earlier in the season, you could do a high middle number, but we're late in the season, so you don't want to
Okay.
promote a lot of growth.
Compost.
Not
Right.
enough in it. You need
Oh.
something right now, because we're later in the season, you need something with your first high number for your green, your nitrogen.
Right.
And something with a higher last number, which is your potassium or potash.
Right.
So if you have muriate of potash, you could use that. I was using a shrub fertilizer, I think it's like an 18615.
Okay.
And what it does is just promote some more green. The middle numbers for roots, so late in the season here, you don't want growth.
No.
You just want green.
Right.
The last number also promotes the transfers of starches and sugars, so it just kind of gives all its vitamins. It makes it hardier for the winter, which it's under stress, so it needs a boost for the winter to get it through.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So if these plants were stressed to begin with for whatever reason, they're an easier target.
As even with us, right? When we're stressed, we get sick more, right?
Right.
So any plant, yes.
Right.
But it seems with boxwood, and in our area, it seemed very hit or miss. Like some areas had some areas didn't, some areas got hit.
Yeah.
So, but it depends. And if everyone just, like, look how easy that was to spray.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And the little trap, you can get different forms. We had one that was like a sticky trap, and you put the pheromone in, it attracts the male moths, they get stuck.
Okay.
Well, they can't reproduce anymore because there's no males.
And when
So
do
it
you
stops the
carry
cycle.
those?
We carried them from May on.
Onward?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
have any?
I might have a couple left now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's so easy. The trap lasts for a month. The pheromone lasts for a month. You throw it out when you're done.
Okay.
It's
Rain
just
doesn't
paper.
affect
Nope.
it?
It's just paper,
Okay.
so it's not like it's a big thing to throw out. But
Wow.
yeah, that's how easy. Make sure you coat it really well. It's not something you rush through. You just coat
Yeah.
it really well and make sure you get in so
In
the
the-
whole thing is coated. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And if you fertilize, that will help promote some more. Right now, you're just
Healthy
promoting
growth.
green and healthy. In the season, like in June, I was doing something with a higher middle number because I wanted to push some new growth on it.
Right.
And the one place I was spraying at looked like this when I first showed up, and I went, ooh. But me and the homeowner, we thought, you know what, let's try it because this is
Okay.
cheaper spraying than it is to replace it all. She had a big boxwood hedge and everything.
Oh my.
Like a long boxwood hedge. So
Right.
I was very diligent with my spraying, fertilized, and it hardly looks like anything happened to it this year.
Wow.
Yes.
Do I cut
Yep.
these back at all, or?
I wouldn't, only because if you want to trim it to shape it like if you normally did in the fall, then
Yeah.
fine. but don't start hacking at it to clean it up, because if these stems are still alive, they'll push more leaves for next year.
Okay. Well, they look green.
Yeah.
So they,
You might have a few like dead spots, like somewhere down in here. You might have a dead spot there next year. Trim that out and move
so
growth.
that's what I was used to. I was used to, you know, coming out of winter, you telling me off for throwing snow on them, and me pruning back
Yeah.
the odd,
Yep,
and it
that's
was
all you have
an
to do.
odd
Yeah.
dead.
Yep. And same thing
stem.
next spring.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I don't know that I'll throw.
Maybe protect them a little bit more this winter. Throw snow the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
But,
wow.
Yeah, it's not. It's you have to be concerned about it, because you should be concerned when something's eating your shrub. But I would not be concerned like, oh, I'm not going to have boxwoods ever again. I'm going to take mine all out. But don't do that.
So because
fine.
my boxwoods have had this moth, now there are moths elsewhere in this area.
Yes.
So other people's boxwoods may be at risk.
Yes. But again,
Sorry.
spray. But again, it's like I said, gypsy moth. It's gone now. Everyone did what they were supposed to do. We kept an eye on it.
Yeah, and it'll come back.
And yes,
It does,
exactly. I would not be concerned. If
yeah.
we were concerned, growers wouldn't even be selling. Like, they'll take something off the market to not have if it's that big of a concern.
Right.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
You just have to do it. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
That's all. Yep.
We have more. We're going to go to the gazebo where I've cut a few of my nasties. Anyway, join us over there, please. Now we're in the gazebo. I've cut a few samples of some yucky things. This is my peony leaves. One of the peonies is worse than the other, and it's got brown spots all over it.
It's just from the weather. It's hot and humid. Just weather related. You can just cut it off and throw it out. Don't compost it. Don't burn it. Throw it out.
In the garbage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
My other one is, this is pretty...
Standard.
Yeah, it is.
Your tall garden phlox.
And phlox is susceptible to powdery mildew. Doesn't affect the plant.
No. And again, it's so hot and humid this year. It was definitely going to be around. One thing you can do, you can spray with like a lime sulfur or something, or you can thin it out a third of the way to let more airflow.
Come back. We've got more. I've done more. Welcome back. And the last thing I've got is columbine, and most of you are familiar with the little worm that goes...
Leaf miner.
Leaf miner, and it leaves little trails that it's been there. So I cut this off to show you. Did not realize that on the underside are aphids.
Right there.
So that's a double whammy. And this one,
Same thing, leaf miner.
that's what leaf
Yep.
miner does?
And leaf miner, what it is it's a little worm, I guess, type thing, to lack of better words, worm. And it feeds between the two layers of
Leaves.
leaf.
Yeah.
And then this one's come out. But yeah, you can see here, you can see. And
Oh,
if you look
that's the
close, there's
exit.
tiny black specks in it too. That's the
The
little
poo?
poops. Yep. But
Whoa, these caterpillars crap everywhere.
they do.
Oh, I see the exit hole.
Yeah.
Okay, right here is the
Yep.
exit hole. So I just cut these off.
Yes. So yeah, these ones you can cut off. Again, you could compost, I guess, but you can throw them out. If you have you can spray nematodes. Nematodes will get rid of leaf miner.
Okay.
Again, nematodes completely natural. It's a beneficial little tiny
Microscopic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that would work on that as well.
Okay. And we have one more bug thing to show you.
Can I go get it?
And
we
we're
going
going
over?
to go over to my Japanese beetle trap. I made a boo-boo. So we'll meet you over there. Well, we're over at my Japanese beetle trap, which I purchased at Georgina Garden Center. And apparently I did not read the instructions. Yeah, it's more like destructions.
There was too few instructions. That was the problem.
Yeah, well, when Shannon made me read it out loud, it made more sense than me reading it in my head, which is probably not a good idea. But I took the disc out completely, which you're not supposed to do.
And what happened when you took it out?
So now the pheromones are on me. I placed it at the top of the trap, which is not where it's supposed to go. But when I went outside, I should have done this outside, but when I went outside, the bugs were landing on me.
Because it was on your fingers.
I smelled of
Pheromone.
Japanese beetle pheromone. And with my neighbor, Ren, who you've met, standing there going, "You've got bugs on you." So I was not impressed. So this little card, I thought, this is not giving me all of what I need to know.
That has the Japanese beetle, in case someone doesn't know what it looks like.
And that's a beautiful picture of the Destructo burger.
And we've done this, like when we do this in the height of Japanese beetles,
Season.
when you go to undo this, they do swarm you. But if you don't touch it, they don't come after you again.
I touched it.
So all you have to do is peel this back. Okay, and I'm trying not to touch it only because I just don't want the pheromone on me. It doesn't hurt you. And then you hang that in this, and this trap is reusable year after year. You put it in on one side of the slot. There's little slits in the side.
Oh, and it
you
stays in there.
Yeah. Then you push the other side in, and it just stays in there. So both are pheromones. The Japanese
What's this
beetle,
little thing?
another pheromone.
Oh,
They both work together. So
I had that in my pocket for a while looking at it.
And if they were even in the garden right now around us, they would already be over here. That's how effective this is. And then they just fall inside. And
I'm lucky that I didn't have all that many.
no. And once you get about an inch worth in there, you want to empty them. So you do have some in there.
Yeah.
They are not alive though, but if you have, they stay alive, like, because it doesn't kill them, this thing. It just naturally attracts them.
Did the rain drown them?
Could have, or they just could have
Died of boredom?
Get a bucket of hot soapy water,
Yeah.
empty this in it, shake it around, empty it, and then just when they're dead, empty it out, and then put this back on.
So when I put this up initially,
Yep.
I put a bucket of soapy water underneath.
Yep.
Because they're not great flyers.
Right.
And some of them miss the mark.
Right.
But having mine sitting on top instead of on the...
Well, and one fallacy is this, is fallacy the right word?
Yep.
Thing, is a lot of people think if they have this, they are going to attract more. It's not. This only works for 200-foot radius.
Yep.
So if you put this up there in your area anyways, you're not attracting them from down the street or anything like that.
Right.
So if you're like, oh my gosh, it attracted so many, I emptied it 2 or 3 times, well, that's how many were here.
Right.
And by it catching these, you don't get the grubs because these are the adult form of the grubs.
Right. This has been awesome, and you've been very kind to me. Thank you for joining us, and thank Shannon for solving some of your problems, I hope. Anyway, I'll be making a trip to the garden center for fertilizer. Yes. Thanks again, and hope this helped with some of your yuckies in the garden. Bye for now. Thank you.
Oh, that was fun.